Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a week. I haven't really streamed too much, but it's alright. I've gotten quite a bit done. Anyways, so for any VOD watchers, hello. It's Cozy, and we're back with another development stream. If you're looking at the screen right now, and if you've been following for a while, you might notice that things are a little bit different than the last time you've seen this. I've been doing some development off-stream. Offline. Mostly just making assets, honestly, and planning stuff out, but I think it was necessary, because I was tired of looking at this jank main menu, and I wanted something that actually looked more like an actual proper screen in a game, or something closer to final. So we have this, and I am absolutely happy for that. So I'll think about the agenda for today's stream, and we'll begin planning. Also, I think the horizontal stream is being weird. I might have to shut it off or something. Yeah, what's going on, Draco? It's always good to see you. Always good to see you, Draco. Chewing bubblegum and making assets, and we're all out of bubblegum. The classic Nukem. Always good to see you, Syndicate. Yes, sir. We might have to do some more assets today, but I think I've caught up. There's like this arm race in developing games, where there's like the technical tasks and then there's the asset tasks, and it's very easy to just go on ahead with the technical stuff, but then the assets fall way behind. But now it feels like we're kind of caught up a little bit closer. And at the very least, the main menu does not look the way it's been looking. I'm not sure what time you guys came in during the stream, but I mentioned that this whole time we've been seeing this gray boxes for the main menu. And I spent some time, and now we have something that's looks closer to what I'd actually want to see in the final product. And something that kind of has this vibe of, oh, we're peeking into this character's, world a little bit. So, yeah, we have the character here, we just have the animator. We also have some new assets for the main menu. So, icons, different display a little bit. Still a lot to get done, but I feel like we're much closer to where we want to be. So that makes me very happy. Yeah, like I can select the truck, purchase it, change. I need to make the spray color sound. Yeah, there's quite a bit that needs to be done, but we're getting there. And then one thing I want to do is actually have the high score and have it be written on the whiteboard, so that we can have another button, and when you press it, it zooms in on the whiteboard and you can see your top runs. So the maximum score you had and the date you did it, sorted by, quality, sort of based off performance. So yeah, I think we're getting very in there with the diegetic look for this. What's going on, Sishalt? Totally different feel from before, right? Honestly, I think I might even want to change the music as well to another round of revising the music, or maybe have it where, like, when you're in the garage, like actually modifying the vehicle, the music comes up, but then when you back out, it chills out, the music goes away, and you just hear the ambience in the background. Yeah, there's still quite a lot to do, but we're getting there. We're getting there, dude. Like I said, the end is getting closer for this game. I can feel it. Ow. So there's a lot on my board, literally in real life, to do. Maybe one of these days I'll turn the camera around. You can see my whiteboard with all the tasks and ideas I have, both for this game and other games. But yeah, there's quite a bit to do. As much as I want to get started on the 3rd level, I think we need to start working on mechanics that are unique to these levels. And to do that, we're going to have to add some tooling for ourselves that facilitates unique designs for levels. The ideas I have require it, so we're going to have to add or make our level generation much more robust. And instead of having one single function that does that, we're going to have like this pipeline of things we can string together to generate a level. Nice to see you in my For You page again. What's up, Sishal? It's always good to see you. Yeah, I took a little break this week, just grinding offline. Got 2 job interviews next week, and I put Linux for the first time on a laptop. Let's go, Draco. There you go. That's the first step to being the senior staff architect engineer. It starts with that. Let me grab a little cookie or cracker for myself. It's not a cookie, cracker. And we're gonna make a little. We're gonna do our to-do again. We're gonna do another to-do list. Don't need this anymore. Actually, no, it's to-do. Actually, no, it is Vim. No, but I have a to-do command, don't I? Yes, I do. But it opens. Yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't care. Why do you do this to me? I thought I got rid of Rosalind. So let's talk about the to-dos. We did a lot of this. What is going on here? This should be marked as done. I guess I need to do recover. What do you want from me? 1 second, my mom. Hello? Oh, you're right. 1 second. 1 second. All right, bye. 1 second, guys. Forgot something very critical. Let me do it real quick. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Had to do something a little bit important. One second. I'm gonna put this over here. Ask Jeeves about it. What's going on? No, Skype is shut down. Yeah, I have a Skype ringtone. Also, what's going on, Posero? Usually go live this late, or can I catch you at like coffee tea time? Yeah, unfortunately I'm late. Usually I work during the day. Maybe if on the weekend I'll do like a daytime stream, but that's a rare thing. Or maybe if I go on vacation, I'll do some work during the day. I think nothing's more fun than acting as if you're clocking in for work, except it's not your day job, but actually your personal job. Yeah, no, this is wrong. This is the more up-to-date version, but it's missing this stuff. That's so weird. Like the time bonus, we did this stuff already. Yeah, we did this. Did that. Did that. We didn't do the spiky dudes. We didn't make the spiky dudes come back. We did make an on-screen progression thing. We haven't done this. That's gonna be easy to do. Okay. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Appearance, Mama Cozy's voice. Oh yeah, could you hear her? TeamSpeak, I think, is what it's still active. Yeah, TeamSpeak's going on. And TeamSpeak's beefing with Discord too. Take out the garbage cozy. Yeah, I just had to take care of something. Something very simple. Very simple. But it needs to be done. It needed to be done. This is a really nice live to have while working. Love the ambient. Fits the name like a glove. Thank you, Posero. Am I pronouncing it correctly? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, that's the goal here. Be productive, try to get stuff done, and hopefully encourages people to be productive as well, man. And to work on stuff that they find cool, or things that they just need to get done did, right? We usually do the green screen, but I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to deal with it. I think we're just gonna have blank background, simple lights, blue lights, call it a day. You don't need more than that, right? Anyways, let's talk about the things we want to get done. So, a couple different fronts. Gameplay-wise, or level-wise. There's a couple different categories. There's level, there's the garage, there is input. I guess it's going to fall under level. It's its own subcategory. These are kind of the two broad things. So as far as garage is concerned, I want to implement the high score system. That's the thing we need to have. And UI. Something that's vaguely important. I also want to implement the chip upgrade system as well. I think I have the system, or I have a mechanism for that already, the saved game thing, but I need to actually hook it up to the UI and figure out how that's going to look exactly. On the level side, or actually let's say gameplay side. Actually, format that this way. So we have broad categories of input and level. So on the level front, I want to allow image input for texture gen or level gen. One second. On the other hand, input, I want to experiment with on-screen buttons and to UI, so you can actually switch between these different options. I want to test this out because I think it might be actually better than the relative input. That's just something I think is going to be, even if it's not, I want to have it. It's going to make A/B testing very easy if we can have switch between the relative input versus on-screen buttons. So that's just something that's needed. Some bugs that need to be addressed. Collision is just a bit jank right now. So I just need to figure out some kind of solution for making collision a bit better. I believe there's more to this than that. But for now, I think this will suffice. This is a decent amount of workload already for today. There might be some other stuff I'm thinking of, but oh yeah, and then there's gonna be like gen functions for levels. That's gonna be a thing we need to do. That's not crazy. Okay, let me catch up in chat before we jump into it. What's going on, OKOM? I think you're the first non-Spanish speaker to say it correctly. Well, I am Spanish, so yes, I am in Spanish. I'm not a fluent speaker, though. I understand it. I don't get to practice it very much, so my Spanish has just always been kind of eh. Yeah, you guys got it right. You got the lore. You got the info right. One second, I got some snacks for today. Got some chomps, some meat sticks, some beef jerky. So don't mind me if I feel a little bit while working. Origin lore drop. Oh yeah. I'm free of finals. Welcome back from finals, Cornelius. Welcome back from your finals trials. Hopefully it went well, man. And if it did, now you can relax. And if it didn't, it's already done. You can do better next time. There's something else that I feel like I need to do, but I can't think of it. So yeah, we'll just leave this like this for now. So let me think about the level gen stuff. Level generation is going to be a whole thing. We have these level generators. We have this path gen. So the way I'm thinking about this level generation, so let's actually illustrate a very basic example of how it currently works. And we're going to do 2 prongs. I'm going to open up Asteroid. I'm also going to find the code for why we're doing this. Let's actually put it right next to the Unity instance. I don't have to keep going back and forth. Thank you. So this is the current function we're using, this path gen function. And it's a function that just takes in the model, the data we're modifying, and then some parameters about the different paths you want to generate. So there's actually 2 steps that are happening here. So open up a blank canvas, shall we? This is a dumb number. Why am I doing that one? 128, 128, whatever. So first, I set everything to be a hazard or a tile. That's a better way of describing it. I set everything to be a wall essentially, and this is step number 1. And then the next step is the function itself that generates a path. So it does the carving out of tunnels through these tiles. So we start with everything marked as a tile that's occupied, and then we carve out free spaces from there, and that's going to be step number 2. And this is fine, and we can configure these parameters to get different types of levels, but there's going to be some levels that require that bespoke, artisanal hand, that touch. So what I want to do is have a way where I can just open up an image and detail the level ahead of time. So step 1 would be like, maybe I start with this image that I've handcrafted that has a very weird shape, but it's for a particular reason of some sort. So this is the image, right, that I have created. I load it into the game and it populates like this, and then I can do whatever I want from it. So I can have another step that takes this and then automatically places hazards or enemies or whatnot around, or maybe for example, I can have a step that places coins throughout the level automatically. I don't have to do that by hand. Whatever, right? We can have different functions for our level gen that does different functions. That sounds super redundant. We can have different stages in our pipeline of level generation that performs different functions, so that I can kind of just compose the structure of a level stage by stage. So maybe I just want to start with everything being a wall and then carve out a shape from it. Or maybe I want to load it from an image and then do all this other stuff on it. I get to have control over it, so that if I want to have a level that has a certain theme, I can just do it. And it's going to result in this functions that have these stages kind of just called into them explicitly. So that's the idea. We got this working. Now we need to figure out how we're going to handle this. And specifically, how much information do I want to allow myself to encode? Because if we look at all the entities we have defined in the game, the entity type, there's a bunch of them, right? So there's no super obvious way of encoding, what, 8 different types of, or 9 different types of entities into here. We do have RGB values, so I can just say, hey, if, I don't know, the red channel is all the way 1, then that's got to be a hazard. And if the G channel is all the way is equal to 1, then that's got to be like a enemy or whatever. And then so on and so forth. And that's fine, but that's going to limit us to like 3, right? We can do different combinatorics. So maybe, hey, each combination, like maybe we assign maximum red and maximum green and then 0 blue to be coins, and that's fine, and that seems kind of intuitive. But then as we get more in the weeds, there's going to be a growing number of things that I just have to keep cross-referencing to figure out. Another idea is that we can just have this be a single value texture. The thing is, I don't know how to do that. Like in a simple, not weird way. I want to keep it as simple as I can open up any Aseprite. I can open up Aseprite and create an image of whatever dimensions I want and then start drawing there. If I do that, it would be odd, or we just end up having a lot of redundant information. There's also the more extreme option of, like, I did this for the level map tiler, which is having the channels partitioned into certain regions so that, like, I can encode. I can have, like, for example, I can partition the red channel to to have like 8 different values. So like I know, oh, 0 is the first value, and then 0 point. I mean, this is in. This is within relative to 255, but usually it's going to be from 0 to 1 range. So it'd be like, all right, 0 is the first value, and then if it's equal to 0.1, it's this value, and then 0.33, and then so on and so forth, right? But then that becomes very unintuitive for me to work with here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just allow simple encoding of just like a few different sets of colors, and we're just gonna work with that. Nothing too complex. So we're gonna have like, I think the easiest one is gonna be just what we have here, which is pure red is gonna be an occupied tile. White is gonna be a free tile. We can have this for gold coins. This is gonna be maximum red and green, right? Yeah. What about purple or pink? That could be something. I'm not sure what this is gonna be, but I think this gives us the kind of flexibility I need. I think everything else, like placing enemies or whatnot, I can have that be in a function. And if we do it this way, we can actually explore doing compute buffers. Not compute buffers. We're not going to do compute shaders, but we can use maybe native burst jobs, and then use a 4i job to execute a bunch of this stuff in parallel, so it's faster. I don't know. We'll see. All right, let me catch up a chat real quick while I eat my Slim Jim, my not actual Slim Jim. All right, let's see what's going on here. I'm trying to be free. I'm trying to free my school laptop of the clutches of both my school. I paid for it, so it's mine now, and Windows 11. Oh, that sounds beautiful. But Windows 11 is 2 years out of date because I never used it. And 24H2 apparently takes hours to install on many systems. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I would have given up on Windows entirely at that point. Oh, yoga? I saw that when I was looking for laptops a while ago. I hate the keyboard with a passion. Yeah. Strangles the poor thing, even with 16 gigabytes of RAM on board. That's crazy. It's crazy. My laptop before on Windows 11 had way higher CPU temps than when I switched to Linux. That was ridiculous. Do you miss anything? Nothing much. I was just planning the how we're going to implement our level generation stuff. And I think I've kind of come to a conclusion. So I think after this it'll be a matter of just executing, which is going to be pretty straightforward. That's crazy. On the SSD, and it's still that bad. Nice. Fedora and KD. Let's go, dude. Until you install a special graduation app, which won't install until I update it. That's crazy. What is that? How is that possible? And there's got to be a way to do that. What do they do? Strap like a explosive on it or something? Okay. I think I have some clarity here. So we're gonna go to level gen. And we're going to create our function for loading stuff. So pathogen is the major one. Yeah. Maybe I'll make this public as well. here. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. It's kind of all we need, actually. So I actually just kind of inline this. Well, isn't that odd? Being able to inline it. I usually don't have that luxury. Okay, and then we also have to actually know the model we're modifying, and then the texture 2D we're gonna be reading from. Or maybe just call it source. And then I think the simplest thing we could do is just read directly from it. I don't know, actually. I guess we can do an issue like some kind of error or something if the texture does not match. Or maybe we don't care. Maybe we just iterate over the ranges of the texture, and if it matches, great, and if it doesn't, boo-hoo. I'm in line with that. What are we gonna do? No, not instantiate. Instance. No, not model. Is it private? Or is it? Ah, there we go. Width. I'm gonna have it in the wrong order. Of course I did. Go in another level. We're going to implement it like this first, and then I'll consider the parallelization after. I mean, if I can make it work, yeah, I think if we do the burst job thing, it's gonna we have to use a final index. So I might have to. Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, it'll be easy to move into it if I decide to do that. Yeah, we're good. We are good. And you need to be height. Perfect. So, yeah, buffer utilities, chord. What I'm looking for is chord to index. Perfect. Excuse me. So now we have our index, and then I'm going to have another function here. I want to have a function that samples the color and then returns whatever entity corresponds to that. So it'd be like E entity type or entity from color. Vector 3, because we don't care about alpha. And then, can we do a switch case on colors? Or is that just not going to work? I don't want to have to instantiate every time we go to here. We probably want to make some constants or something. Can we do constants of a vector 3? It's a struct, and it's unmanaged. Or it is it's called an unmanaged type, so yeah. Private const vector 3. Let's say tile. Well, we're using new keywords, so that's out of the window. That's not happening. Yeah. Okay, I guess the closest thing we're gonna have is like a static read-only. Yeah, I don't think we can do that. We might have to do like a There's a way to do conditionals in... I remember there was a way to do conditionals in switch statements. Okay, maybe we just don't do switch statements. Maybe we just do the dang if-else. I'm trying to be clever, but... Or is it a match statement? I think it's a match statement, actually. No, but it's still going to be the same thing. I'm trying to be clever, and it's just not going to work out, I think. We're just going to go slow. Needs to find other stuff, too. I believe coin was going to be red and green are maxed out. Let me catch up real quick. What's up, Neil Shear? And Comrade Kit? It's AI beta, don't worry, we'll never explain. I will explain Comrade Kit. In fact, I explained at the very top of the video. It's not AI, I just get focused, man. Here, I could... Green mode. There you go, this is real, there's green mode. I don't know why. I love when, like, that's my go-to. It's just saying, hey, this has a green mode, so this is obviously real. Oh, man. That's DevOps? No, we're not doing DevOps. We're doing the fun stuff today. I don't know, DevOps is fun for people. It's just not fun for me. DevOps is usually the chore that I don't want to do, but I end up having to do at some point because it's kind of needed and responsible to cover yourself. Asian Pirate Software Streams actually writes code. Yeah, I do. We do actual deving here. But here, I can explain it to you real quick, alright? Lyle Slop. Because it's understandable. Like, this is... I'm just jumping into implementation. Well, we explained it earlier, but... Doesn't hurt to explain it. So right now we have a game that generates basically a 2D level. You can think about it that. It's actually a 2D level, right? Straight up. And the way that it currently works is that we have this 2D array of entities. And there's different states that they can be in. There's different types of entities that can exist, right? The most prevalent ones are going to be either tiles, which occupy space, and then a free space, one that has no collision whatsoever. The player can move through it freely. And the way I'm dealing with generation is that we first take this 2D array, mark everything as a tile, and then the second step is that we generate a path cutting through that, marking tiles as free. Now this is fine for the levels we've been testing, but now as we're making new levels, I want to have more tools and more freedom to create different types of levels, different types of shapes, different types of geometry, what have you. So what I want to do is be able to go into Aseprite, make a texture there, and then mark manually certain areas that are going to be, hey, this is going to be a tile, and this space is going to be free. And maybe I want to mark a space as having coins. So I'm implementing a function right now that's going to allow me to do that. Essentially taking a texture and then sample the texture and mark different parts of this source array with the corresponding value from the texture. And this is going to be just one major stage within a pipeline of level generation so that I have freedom. I could potentially load a texture and have it do this step first. And then from there, maybe I can call the level, the path generation function. Or maybe call a different function that places different types of entities in it. Either way, I essentially want to have a bunch of functions that are going to be stages that I can order in any type of way I want to for different stages or different levels. I'm sorry if my terminology is not clear. I get frazzled sometimes. We're implementing functions that are a single stage within our level generation function. And that way we can take all these different stages and order them however we want to. That's the goal. Hopefully that explains what's going on here. What's going on, K9? I love to be able to talk while coding whenever I remember I can talk and that no one is judging me, I feel. It feels like I understand way more and can find solutions way more easily. Yeah, I love talking myself through coding. Even when I'm like stuck, I do that. I rubber duck with myself. To kind of just figure out and make explicit what my thought process is for what I'm implementing. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. So this is the function that, here's the main function that's going to be taking in the texture and then modifying the source model that's going to be representing the level. And within this, I'm also making another function that is going to be in charge of just sampling a color from the texture and determining what enum it is, what type it is, and returning that. And you know what, this is going to be called frequently, so I'm going to make this be aggressively, there's the thing, aggressively inlined. There's like a compile time. There's like a thing for aggressively inlining functions. I'm not crazy. I know that's a common theme, but I know I'm not crazy. I'm 100% right. I don't have a tab open on this browser, so I'm just gonna Firefox it real quick and see what .NET has in store for me. Or MSDN, really. And what's the attribute? Or maybe it's, well, I guess it's unit. It's like using mono, so but it should be there. Method impl. Yeah, there we go. First of all, you need to be aggressive inlining. There we go. New argument out of range exception. Does not. Come on. Oh man, this is so much, if anyone here does any burst compiler debugging, especially regarding text, then you'll understand how nice it is to go back to just normal C# and have the luxuries of and luxuries and niceties that for debugging. It's beautiful. Tile, coin. We have the marker. We have to also have a free one as well, right? I honestly think that's all we need. The 4 component float values are more than enough. My cup floweth over. What a beautiful day it is. Okay, beautiful. Can you play the game now? Yeah, I can play it. The game is not in a broken state at the moment, so I can actually run it, thankfully. We're basically duckies in this situation. Yeah, exactly, Syndicate. And I'm glad you're aware of that, Syndicate. That's funny. Alright, so we'll go to play mode. Okay, let's go. Yeah, we still need to add a texture for this. Let's get into the actual level, though. I should use a faster vehicle, but whatever. Don't send. But yeah, this game is essentially just a... 1 second, I want to get it faster. Let's go faster. I want to go faster. No, let's go to engine. I also changed how engines are displayed, so now they're relative. It's not just a speed characteristic, but also the max speed. So bigger bar means faster. Whoa. Anyways. Let's actually go fast. And see how well this works out for us. Yep. But yeah, let's look at the game. As you can see, like it's very much a 2D map that's procedurally generated, and right now we're doing the path gen thing. So all these are just tiles, free spaces, coins, and then hazards of different types. Dude, it's I'm kind of surprised how we're able to survive so far. It works. Well, the current version works, right? That's the method we talked about over here, where it's just everything is marked as a tile. We carve out a path from it. I'm making new tools for myself to be able to have more control and more options for how levels get created. So, for example, an idea I have is that I want to have a level that's like a meteorite field. But in a small tunnel, you can't really... There's not much room for avoiding obstacles. So I want to generate I could make tunnels that are bigger, but I want to have one that's just basically a big, it opens up to a big chasm, and we can have different meteors there. Or actually I want to have, there's a specific one I have in mind that's like this. It's closed here. There's like an area that has like certain tight tunnels like this, and then there's gonna be these hazards like here that are going to be constantly moving down the level like this. So like this, and this, and this, and this. And there's going to be a bunch of them. But then it's going to be like broken up by these small corridors here. And maybe there might be one down here or something. But that's something that's not like that's not a path generation thing. That's a very specific design. And I'd rather just be able to draw onto a texture and then have it be rendered into the game. So that's the flexibility we're adding for ourselves. That's the goal here. The goal. And honestly, it'll be kind of cool if I can like stamp textures into the levels, but I don't think there's actually that much of a use case for that. So I'm probably going to keep this implementation simple. Rubber ducks. Easy, us? No, I don't. No AI here coder. Good snacks. Coming out. Oh my goodness, Spartan. Spartan, what's such a deep cut? There's a few games that happen before I go back to Crimson Crown. Or actually, I might take some of the recent ideas I have and merge into Crimson Crown. I don't know. We'll see. That's such a deep cut, though. I've been thinking about Crimson Crown, but I haven't heard anyone else mention it for a while. Oh, wait 1 second. It's called Source. Why? Also, isn't the Spartan like the old school Spartan? Because I knew you from Twitch. And I think you came here at some point, but there's also been quite a lot of people who passed through here. So with the same name, so I'm not sure if it's the same Spartan I'm thinking of, but if it is, what's going on, man? It's good to see you again, dude. Assign me. Sorry if this is a fact style question, but planning for this game to be mobile compatible too, or just for PC? Oh, it's primarily for mobile with PC support as well. That's the plan. So I'm gonna be testing on my Steam Deck, and I'm gonna be deploying it onto my mobile phone. In fact, the big thing is that I want this to work on very cheap phones. So I got this $40 phone from Target, or not Target, from Walmart, and I've been testing on here to make sure that it runs well and works at a good FPS. Very important. If it can run there, it can run everywhere. The tech stack, bro, there's nothing. It's just Unity, man. And then my own dev kit, and that's about it. It's been so long, man. I figured I might as well mess with you. Oh, it is the Spartan. Let's go. Yeah, guys, Spartan is the OG. Many people have come and gone from this channel, but Spartan, he goes way back to the origin days of Cozy Cabin, back when we were on Twitch. Yeah, man. How's your you been doing that tractor racing stuff, dude? I know last time, a long time ago, you're preparing for that. I called it entity from color. Pass that bad boy in. I'm gonna cast you. Oh, I actually made kind of a mistake here, didn't I? But it's okay. We can cast you to. Can I do an RGB swizzle? No, I can't. I can cast you to a vector 3, but I'd rather do. I'm going to do an extension. We're going to go to vector utilities. Is it C#? Yeah, we're doing C#. Was it to Sir Answer Please? What is it? Yo, Sir Answer Please. Yeah, no, Syndicate, she got me. Yeah, C# for this. C#, HL, and SL. If I'm doing my engine project, it's going to be in C++ or C++. And if I'm doing Rivendell or other stuff, I'll do it in C. But for this project, it's C#. Every time you stream, it's been a weeknight, so I haven't been able to join. But I see your streams pop up every once in a while. Hey, let's go, dude. Yeah, that's usually what the time I've been streaming. And the weekends is usually to kind of just chill. But I don't know. I've also been very sporadic with my schedule, so I don't know, man. I guess we just do it when it feels right. Okay, this is gonna be stupid, but can we do like a color, cast it to a vector 4, cast it to a vector 3? Yeah, we can. That's what's happening. The implicit cast was happening there. Yeah. That's fun. So now I can go here and just do 2 vec3, and it's gonna be fine. And then finally I can go to model, index equals entity. I'm sorry. I thought I'm always right. But apparently I'm not. Here we go. Type and is alive equals true. Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't do this. I can't do this. I actually have to do something more robust than this. I have to actually make this be an entity. And I'm going to make this an actual entity instead. And we need to pass in more information from here. More information than I would have initially regarded, but I think it's relevant. So we're just going to do this. 2D texture. Okay, let me catch up real quick. We're going to learn the basics of game dev. You can search up tutorials. That's like the best way to, that's the best way to just get some understanding. Follow some. You can do some stuff like Bracky's. I know he's popular. I never watched him, but I'm very much aware that people go to him for like Unity stuff. I think he's doing Godot things now too, so there's that. And you can just always just download a game engine and start cracking and trying to figure it out. Is he running for the CRT green screen or the code screen? I'll show you. Here's a CR. Oh, you got me, Syndicate. You got me. You got me. Do you use documentation? Oh yeah, 100%. That's my go-to. Well, here is the ranking of your source of information. First, you just go to the code directly, because that's like the source of truth. That's reality right there. So if you have access to the source code, just go to the source code, especially if it's in your code base. Like, okay, I only do that if it's actually in the code base and easily accessible. So like, you can even do this in Writer. It has a decompiler, so you can go to different types. But I can even go to like my own types, and I usually use like F12 for most people. Control closing bracket for me. But you can just kind of do this and navigate to the original stuff. Below that, though, when that's not available, is documentation, and then after that, you're struggling. You're going to Kaggy, because I use Kaggy. I don't use Google. What can I say, guys? I implore you guys to give Kaggy a try. Not sponsored, by the way. Just like it. But yeah, beyond that, then you just start Googling or Kaggying, or going to Stack Overflow and stuff like that. I know people love going to AI. I think there's a lot of value in actually searching up the information directly. Let me catch up real quick though. I've had so many projects recently. I haven't finished my race mower. Oh snap, dude. But that's fun though, having a lot of projects. I bought a Jeep Patriot that needs an engine that I'm going to replace and resell. I also bought a Mini Cooper Countryman to learn, man. Let's go, dude. Spartan. Dude, you're killing it, man. You got the good stuff going on. Are you gonna have people start giving you ducks on or leaving you ducks in your Jeep? Dang, you have a car for manual too? Dude, that's my dream. I want to do that at some point. I want to do that. Alas, though. Alas, I probably don't even have the time for it. It's very sad. Very tragic indeed. In fact, we're gonna make this vector 3. Okay, we need to practice our typing, guys. I need to go back to practicing because I'm super bad at typing right now. We get the color, and then what do? We do entity. Oh. I don't have one for tile. Interesting. Let's rectify that, shall we? Oh, there is one for tiles. It's just a bad name. It's an old name. It's supposed to be tile. Okay, so we can go back here and actually just do tile. And we're good there. And then we're going to get rid of this. Coin. XY. And then finally, get rid of this guy. Entity. No. Free space. Beautiful. Yes. Yes, indubitably. Indubitably. See, this is what I'm talking about. So much imprecision. I've gotten so sloppy, man. I feel like I used to be so much better at this. Either way. Index. Okay. And that's about it for this. That's just gonna... Hey, I need to do some monkey type, dude. Data modifier. This is kind of redundant, honestly. But why not? We'll have the appearance of being somewhat professional. Even though I totally don't run a professional ship here. What's happening? What's happening? Are there any books than tutorials? There's some books, but they're more like just general information about software development and engineering. I don't have the books on me here. They're in my shelf. They're in my study. I could procure them, but there's like an object-oriented one that's worth looking at. There's Solid Code or Clean Architecture. That's another book from like Uncle Bob. There's a Pragmatic Programmer. That one I didn't get as much. I think it's like useful for like if you already have some programming experience and knowledge and you just want to have some wisdom as you work at an organization or on long-term projects. The Banhammer with Iron Fist. Like, hey, sometimes you need it, man. And what's happening? Not books, but it's all text. Yeah, of course. It's dark. It's night out, silly. But I agree, though. Anyway, trying to think of what's going on. I usually wouldn't be this tired, but I haven't slept for nearly 2 days. Dude, Posero, you gotta sleep, man. You gotta rest. In the words of the villain, or one of the villains from Princess Bride, if you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything. The best way to learn manual is on a cheap car you don't care about. I got the Mini Cooper for a killer deal. I plan on selling it in a couple months before I have to replace the clutch. Nice, Spartan. Yeah, I really need to do that. I think I talked last time about I want to get like a cheap beater Miata or something. There's something cheap off Facebook Marketplace or something. But the best I have is like a drive sim wheel and a Assetto Corsa, but that's not the same. It's not the same. We both know it's not the same. So I wrote this. I'm assuming it just works. How are we going to test this? I guess we can have we have to start doing the high-level functions as well. This is for debugging purposes, so that's not as important. But I want to have a function for we're gonna have the actual level generation functions, and this can be one for beach world, with your entity ref, because because I don't want to produce a copy by accident. We're also going to have one for the Crystal Cavern. That's also very highly essential. I guess they'll go to the game board manager because I think we're going to be substituting all this with these explicit functions. If I can find it. You appear somewhere. I know it. I know it. You appear. Let's see. Level generators. What? Oh, that's for debugging stuff. Okay. Aha. Path gen. No more. You shall appear. Yeah. Don't need this anymore. And we have this constant path radius. Actually, you're gonna appear here. What's going on here? I'm into hope is punk kind of vibe. Oh, I love that. I love that line from that Superman movie. It's kind of true. I kind of hate how postmodern and cynical things are. It looks like everything you're doing is only coding. You're barely using Unity. Yeah, that's the goal for me, coder. The less I can use Unity, the better. So I design everything around having things be explicitly done in code as opposed to using Unity in its UI. Every time I have to use Unity's UI, or just Unity in general, it's like the speed just halts, and you start waiting. I don't like that. So the more I can just do explicitly in my code base, the better it is. So you'll see a lot of what I'm doing is very much structured around that. Whenever I can, I avoid using object references or scene references. I will use load from resources. I prefer doing that. Or maybe I'll even construct the game object I want directly instead of making a prefab. I do that for my object pooling stuff sometimes. It doesn't mean all the time. There's times and points where it just makes more sense to use a scene level reference, or you have to, but when I can, I try to avoid it. What is this? Path radius. So path radius is covered. Game board manager. Maybe I don't even want to have. Do I even want to have this define that parameter? Maybe I want to have this defined here because it's relevant. It's information that's much more relevant to. Okay, what breaks when I do that? Path gen and path gen. That's only two places that break from that. Okay, I can just define this here then, and we're gonna be good. Yeah, and part of this, me making my engine is to also not avoid having to use UI and have an engine that allows me to do everything I want to do within it from a keyboard and not have to use my mouse. So have you seen my early prototype of my platformer game or the Cozy engine that I've shown before? It's very much oriented around that. We need to have the probability tables, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay, that's another thing we have to consider. Current entity probability tables. Honestly, instead of passing the probability tables directly, I think I'd rather just take in the level assets and then just access it directly this way. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. And then the crystal cavern will use the same stuff as well. You're going to be happy, and I'm going to be fine with this. This structure. And then I'm going to have an overarching one that's going to just called generate. Okay, ref. And, oh yeah, this is actually going to be there. And then we're just going to have a switch statement, level, visual, populate the different cases, and then we can just call the functions for each one. And you see that? So simple. Didn't need we didn't need a whole strategy pattern. No polymorphism, just check it enum and call the dang function directly, man. That's all you need. Look how simple that is. Gotta love it. And then now these functions become more simple. We get rid of another level of responsibility from our game board manager. And instead we just pass in and this has to be a ref. Cool, we go to the first part of the code base that has this as well. Replace it with this generate function. Bada bing, bada boom. We're done. Oh, we have to do that too. But aside from that, we're done. I think that should be correct. And then we have to test this out actually. So I need to make another level that's actually going to use our new texture thing, which we probably have to add that as a field to our level asset stuff. So we'll deal with that. That's not too big of a deal. I don't need this file anymore. So we'll just, well, first of all, we have to do something here. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do, actually, keep messing this up. I don't do parentheses enough. Cool. Let me catch up in chat real quick, guys. 1 second. The sheets have a lovely one. You take care, Post Arrow. Have a good one. One question. Is this Visual Studio or another ID? I'm using Rider right now. Yeah, thank you, Syndicate. Which one would be good, do you think? Rider, VS Code, or VS Studio? Well, I think Rider is superior to both of them in general. But as far as VS Studio and VS Code, though, those are two different things. VS Studio is an VS Studio is an actual IDE. VS Code is just a lightweight text editor. Now you can add plugins from their marketplace, and you can kind of build it into an IDE if you so choose. But out the gate, it's not really an IDE. At least not in the same way that Visual Studio is. And there's trade-offs. You use them for different things. But if you're building like a C++ native application or something, or doing like C# Unity, Visual Studio has a bit more features that are useful in that regard. Whereas VS Code would require a little bit more finagling to get to that same, or at least comparable level of usage. That being said, though, I prefer Rider. Yeah, that being said, vastly prefer Writer. Oh, that was my bad. That was a Discord ping on my side. I didn't mute it today. But hey guys, we have a Discord if anyone wants to join. And if you have questions, feel free to ask questions there. I think people are much more willing to go in depth, including me. I know during streams I answer questions, but it may not be to the same detail or usefulness compared to answering the Discord. Alright, Pookie, I'm going to go to head to bed. I'll try to swing by here in Discord more often. Good luck in the coding and game. Thank you, Spartan. Oh, thanks for popping in, though, man. It was super good to see you. It was super fun seeing like a blast from the past, man. And it's good to see that you're doing well, man. So I'll catch you next time, dude. Is Discord still doing that age verification BS? I have no idea. I know I had plans to switch off of it when they eventually do. I don't like it's so. I'm so in a very. I'm fighting to not go full digital hermit. I'm fighting the urge so badly because, on the one hand, I can totally isolate myself on the internet, on my own website and own services and whatever. But on the other hand, I also want to like reach people. So I think at some point I'm going to do both. Ideally, I wish I could just go to my own website and just do stream there, and maybe I will. But for now, I'm tied here. But yeah, there's other alternates to Discord as well that we're considering. That we're legitimately looking at. Peace. Is now on another level. The verification changed a bit more. Oh? Interesting. It's never changed for the better, by the way. It's always changed for the worse. Yeah, no shaders. No, I didn't mean to close everything. Oh well. Game board manager. And then we have blood generators. Okay, cool. Back in my day, we didn't have polymorphism. We just had enums with the functions that you call. Okay, what is another potential level that's gonna use this? I know there's a snow level, but I'm not gonna make snow an actual hazard you have to deal with. There's a fire level I'm thinking of, and that it makes sense to have like maybe fireballs, or there's just the general space, the asteroid belt, let's say asteroid belt level, and this one is going to be using the level, the texture thing. Level from texture. Cool. I'm sorry. I could have sworn I made you a texture 2D. Oh, level from texture. Oh, yeah, I have it backwards. Or I'm forgetting a parameter. A very important parameter, but a parameter nonetheless. Okay, there we go. So we load a texture from there, stage 1, and then I don't know. We're gonna have a. I guess I'll make it asteroid. An asteroid field thing. I'm not sure how we're gonna do this distributed thing. You can like really go down the weeds in trying to make a perfectly distributed yet not repeating pattern. What was it? It's called is it blue noise? I think it's called blue noise. And that's a very odd ducky to code. Hey Troll, what's going on? I hesitate when I'm against concepts they might espouse. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. So I have to. I don't know. Honestly, I almost feel like making an email chain. Fire like the mad guitar licks you flame on them fingertips. Conga goes was such a. Wow, man. I haven't played guitar in a fat minute though. I need to do that again sometime. Like not even on stream, just in general. I haven't done it. So I'm not sure how well I can shred today, or in general. Stopping by, saying hi, and eating dinner. Thank you, man. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. And you go eat your din-din, dude. Enjoy your dinner. Relax. Have a good one. As your boy clocks in for another midnight shift. Literally a midnight shift. How are we gonna do this in a way that's just not... I don't care enough for this to be... noise is such a pain. Like, the noise with very specific specifications. Like, we're gonna have to... And here's the thing, like, it's something that you can easily, like, as a human, you can easily do. But actually do it programmatically, it's actually kind of odd. Like, the noise I'm thinking of is not, like, normal noise. This is what I'm talking about. It's like noise where you have this certainty about distance between elements. Regular noise, like unfiltered or unregulated noise, you can have elements that appear really close to each other or really far. You can have voids that appear, or you can have huge crowded parts. What I'm thinking about for our asteroid field is something like this, where, yeah, everything's in different random order, but there's a certain radius distance that everything occupies that separates it from everything else. That's a little bit odd. That's a little bit more tricky, and can take much more time computationally, depending on how you implement it. So the other thing is that we're working in a cellular space, in a matrix. So I'm not going to actually be able to achieve this kind of look, broadly speaking, because we're working at a relatively low resolution. So what I'm thinking about is maybe just having something that loosely checks, like, like we're going to still do, I don't know. I actually don't know. Because we're still going to be liable to gaps. But we can do a thing where, like, we iterate through a line, and we go this way, where we just go column by column. And we can place, let's say we end up randomly, we roll a dice and we place an element there. And when we go to place the next element, not only do we roll the dice, but we check to see, hey, is there an element up here and down there? And if not, then we do that, right? Or maybe you don't have to roll the dice. You can just do like I don't know. I think we're going to do that. And then we go to the next row. You roll the dice, and if it say, hey, it turns out it rolled positive, then you go, okay, I want to place a dot here. Is there an element here, or here, or here, or here, or here, like adjacent to you, directly neighboring you? up to like a certain extent. And if not, then you place it. And you're just not going to work forward. It's always going to be retroactive, so it's going to be checking backwards. So you only have to check half a box, really. So you're still going to be liable to gaps, or like you can have large spaces, but you're not going to have tight clusters. There's going to be some kind of minimum distance between everything. And I think that is fine for an asteroid field that I want to do. So I think this retroactive checking is going to be good enough. And if not, we can revisit this, but yeah, I don't need something perfect like this. This is, you know, something nicer for like maybe foliage and stuff like that. With your setup, is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. I'm using a modern PC. You just need a simple HDMI converter to component video or composite video, and you're good to go. It'll just work. Yeah, just simple conversion. You like to see this asteroid talk as a short? It's cool. Will do. I also wanted to do that talk about the shaders syndicate, but when I started editing it, I didn't like my explanation. It conveys the idea, but the words I used were not as precise as they should be, or correct as they should be, actually. So I'm thinking about just recording that again separately, just off stream, and then editing that. Just so, like, there's this voice that's like, what I said there is not accurate, and that bothers me. And I know there's going to be some nerd out there, like me, who's going to hear that and just be like, no, actually not. Shaders are not just for fragment. There's different types of shaders. There's fragments, there's vertex shaders, I know, I just, for the moment, we're simplifying it. But I know me that there's actually different types of shaders. We're just keeping it simple. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep the inaccuracy. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, asteroid field. Asteroid field, asteroid field. And we're going to have radius as a interradius. Not radius, extent, I guess. Because we're not doing sphere. Or I guess technically, if you use like a Manhattan, what was it, Manhattan coordinate space, a box is actually technically a sphere. Is that the case? Like it was something like that. Or not sphere, circle, but like we define a circle as a shape where all coordinates on its edge are equal distance, have the same radius distance from the center. Then if you use different coordinate systems, like the Manhattan system, I think that's what it's called, you end up with weird stuff where like a square is a circle. Because the definition is technically true. Or I'm thinking of something else. There's something like that. I can't remember it. Anyways, extent. And then maybe you're not going to even call this an asteroid field. Maybe we'll make this a very generalized thing, so I can evenly distribute. Maybe I'll call this even distribute. It's not evenly distributed, though. I don't know how to... Okay, whatever. Whatever. It's fine. It's not fine. My language is imprecise, but I think this is the best I can think of. I need to work and operate off of... I need to iterate on imprecision to understand what I'm implementing, and then once I've implemented, then we can choose language that's much more specific and accurately describes what's been implemented. For right now, we're going to use imprecise language and just run with it. That's just the life we're living right now. I can even make this like a static thing, can't I? In fact, can I make this? Can I just make this a constant? I can. Oh, this changes things greatly. And then there's going to be some hiding that happens somewhere around here. Yeah, I can get rid of this because we're going to be dealing with... Okay, we're actually not going to do that. We're going to make this be width first and then height. And then we can delete them and they're going to be fine. And then where we define these constants again, we can just remove it. I may have just removed it entirely already. Okay, so now I can just type in width x plus plus. So we're going to be iterating on the columns. Oh, what's going on here? Don't forget, in this digital day and age, all engagement is good engagement. Leaving a minor error will drive engagement for sure. Oh, hey, I know when people do that, dude. I know when people do that, and I hate it because it's effective. I don't know. My relationship, though, look, this channel is not pursuing what's expedient. If this channel was pursuing what's expedient, we would have been monetizing this from way early on. We would have been pumping out shorts and content way earlier on, especially during that big boom. But we're not doing that. And even making shorts, I feel a bit iffy on. Because I feel like I'm contributing to something that's fundamentally bad. But I'm hoping it can be something I can use it for something good. Either way, though, there has to be for me, it has to be like very... I don't know. I think there has to be like there's a certain level of integrity I want to maintain. So I scrutinize this stuff a bit more. And I think when I do post stuff, it still feels like some kind of compromise to a certain degree. It's just like the leaser of compromises. Or a compromise, I think, that produces something good, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's something I'm thinking through. So we do this, float, we have our random value, random range. Well, this is going to be executed on a separate thread, so we have to do something very specific here. We have to do... what do I call it? There's a random number generator, there's a random selection, and then I have init, and there's range. I should probably pass in some kind of probability as well. That's another thing we need to do. There's choose. Precision. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to use range. Because we're going to work with percentages, because that seems familiar to me. Two is crazy. Thank you, Phantom. Is fork speed? Nah. We just do a lot of habits. Good. Rage bait is the worst. I was just joking around. No, I know you're joking around, Syndicate, but I think it's a nice springboard to just discuss something that I think is kind of important. I like you guys to have a little bit of understanding of my thought process behind this whole stuff. And just to kind of get a gauge of where my head's at with this. I know it's supposed to be like a relaxed, chill channel, but I do want to have this underlying, I don't know, belief. I don't want to say ideology, but this underlying, not pathos, not logo. I guess logos. If random is less than percentage, equal to percentage, or greater than percentage, let's do that actually. We continue. Otherwise, we do our actual test. So, oh my gosh, I should probably look at AVX or Neon. Is there? No. We're not going to learn this today. We're going to iterate backwards programmatically. We're going to iterate on extent. Sample x equals 0. Less than. Yep, need to practice that. So we iterate backwards. This is not. We're going to change this to be EX. And I also want to iterate through Y, which is also going to be extents as well. This is highly nested, but it's also a small number of iterations you're doing, so it's not. I'm not as concerned about that. There is probably a way to AVX this, or in the case of Android, Neon, or ARM, to do this in a more fast, concise way with less cycles. But I'm just going to think through this here, and then we can potentially go back and tighten it up a little bit more. Can you make the game 3D? I've made 3D games, but this game is kind of in the 2.5D category. And those texts has some width, it's easy to read. Oh yeah, I mean, Writer has that by default. I just disable those things. I don't like the autocomplete because it starts getting you into this cycle of waiting for something to happen. And I don't like that. It trains you to slow down and stop. I just want to go. So I just have that off. And we do it the way the Pilgrims did it. You use Godot? I actually did use Godot for a while for tests and stuff like that. I actually made a version of this game on Godot, but I didn't like the engine too much. It's just not for me personally, but that's not to knock on people who use it. Just not for me. Minus EX. But I think I even made up, even though I don't use Godot, I did make a library re-implementing coroutines from Unity and Godot. That's on GitHub right now. Yeah, some people have used it. I'm not sure if it's still working, but I haven't gotten any issues, so I'm assuming things are working fine there, but who knows, man. Oh, you know what? I can't just type continue because this is oh yeah, but it's gonna work fine here. Anyways, I have to do that anyways. I'm not trying to escape the outer loop. Like, look at this. 4 nested loops, guys. When do you ever see this? And when do you ever see this and think, that's acceptable, that's fine? Like, never. But hey, the bounds are going to be not that big. This could still be kind of gnarly, actually. Well, I'm hoping that we actually probably tested this first before we do any of this business. Because we're going to ignore occupied tiles. So if index, nope. Come on. Do we not have it? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's called... Yeah, wrong. There you go. Okay, cool. We continue our way. We reject that. Let's we continue on. We do iteration, test through here. If any of these see, here's the thing, I need to have a way of escaping not only these loops but also the outer one. Well, I guess we can have a boolean and a break. Nope, sample, no, it's sample X, sample Y, okay, our sample index, and then if, we also have our target type, don't we? Extent. Can't wait to profile this. This kind of worries me a little bit, but we'll find out. So we find one that is the same type that we're placing, then we're saying it's too close equals true, and we're gonna break out of, here's the thing though, we do break, it's gonna break out of this loop. I need to break out of this loop as well. You know what, maybe I should just iterate through something different. Like I can, there's a way to make this a single loop and have this work, but or I guess we can just do this for now. Actually, wait a second. Is there a go-to? There is a go-to. Oh no. Oh no. Are we gonna do this for real? Are we gonna do go-tos and see? Oh, brother, are we gonna be super bad? Are we gonna be like evil program? How do you do go-to statements? And Is that real or is that an error? Oh wait, okay. Let me see if this is real. C# go to statements. Oh, they have jump. Oh no, they have go to. Okay, what's the syntax for go to? Oh, this would be so terrible, and yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, we're gonna. This is literally the first time ever in my life I'm actually doing a go to statement. So how do you do this? What's found? Is it a function? Oh, you actually make you you name it, and then you can just go. Oh. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. It's exactly the scenario that I'm using this for. So we're going to call this loop complete. And then go to loop complete. Splendid. 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 What's happening here? Cozy left you a long 2-part message about YouTube Shorts just to give you a different perspective because you're feeling weird and compromised about them. Where's the message? Okay, let me read that first. Is lowering the cost of entry, which can be a really good thing for young coders or future coders to come across good role models yourself. Far streams are easy to upload, but a major barrier to finding out what you're about, especially before they know you. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Well, that's part of how I'm rationalizing making these streams. Like, I can make very condensed information that is helpful for people. The thing that bothers me is it feels like I'm contributing to that whole shortening of attention spans, and you know, on the other hand, it's like, hey, there's people could be doom scrolling like something, just garbage content, and then at least like some educational content can get interjected, and maybe that can be something that's encourages people to pop off, and that's kind of how I rationalize potentially doing that. Is there a way to have this just go to aligned or yeah, I'm trying to think of something else, but oh well, it's fine. I can work with this. We got a code break in Boolean. There's a mobile who is extra greedy with microtransactions, so I plan to saturate it with bots and devalue the value, and it has items and farm gears. Oh my goodness. How much experience do you have, bro? This goes mind-blowing. Does it need separate practice on C#? C# is just a language. The things I do are a separate independent thing called Vim motions, and then just getting familiar with your code navigation. And then that's one half. Like, it's like Vim is like you learning how to drive a car, right? But if you don't know how to navigate, then there's no real point to using a car outside of maybe like doing donuts in like a Dunkin' Donuts parking lot or something. So one half of it's learning to drive the car. The other part is learning how to navigate, read maps, how to get to where you want to go, and that's just going to come from programming knowledge. So that could be familiarity with a language like C#, or it could be just general programming familiarity. Or it doesn't have to be programming. If you just want to write documents and stuff like that or whatever, that's also a thing you could do. What's going on here, Lyle? Is this guy making money from his games, or he's just at home? What's private, buddy? Yeah, I have some games on Newgrounds. I don't really make money from it because this is mostly a hobby for me. I would like to have this turn some kind of profit and, monetize it, but I mostly do this for the love of the game, man. That's why I got my day job, which I also do enjoy. Complete. Oh no, we continue. Perfect. Actually, wait. Why does this require something to happen here? Because my intention is just for this to continue, but to the iterating. Like, we exit the outer loop. So why is this considered redundant? Assign is not using any... oh yeah. It was too close, we continue. Actually, wait, what? Yeah, like this is, no matter how we... Yeah, we don't need this because ultimately we're determining if we're going to skip iterating. Oh, we needed to handle the completed condition, that's right. Okay, this is weirding me out though, because I'm not sure if if this is treated like a default case where it only executes everything below here, or is this something that's always going to be reached no matter what? It's weirding me out because if I close this out, this causes an error, which means it feels like it's treating it like a scope. Oh, I can just do this? Oh, so it just needs to have some kind of statement. Okay, that's fine then. So if too close is false, then we set this index our target index because we're iterating through here. Do I have something here for entity, coin, free space? I feel like I should have some kind of static create function. No. Stop. Bad boy. Okay, we're going to do, and then you're going to also be provided a type. Switch. Type. We have this whole thing here. And then we're just going to call the appropriate function. So like, okay, we have that. Free as well. Oh, I'm sorry. Do we not have a free tile creation function? Oh, free space. That's dumb. I'm going to call it just free. These I have no details for whatsoever, so we'll deal with that when the time comes. But I'm assuming, in fact, we should probably have... Whatever, I'll deal with this later. A lot of these are super simple one-liners, honestly. Like, you can condense it to like this or something. Yeah, but that's like super. You feel me? Something super simple. Where are you unhappy? It should have been caught by this, but writer's being weird. Okay, cool. We have this creation function, and now I can just do create xy, and our type, which is going to be just type, right? Yeah. Beautiful. Splendid, even. So this is either going to work the first try, or it's going to crash horribly and terribly. No in-betweens. No in-betweens. What's going on? You mean the current method he's implementing or the entire class struct? Yeah, what's going on here? Did I miss anything? I don't think I may have missed a couple stuff. To the former is yes, within limitations, and to the latter, no unless told directly. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. But let me know if something, guys. I'm pretty focused, but if you if you add me, I'll see if something's going on. Don't need this. What's going on? I feel like something's gone wrong. No, we're good, I think. Okay, so we're gonna do a test. So the game resolution right now is... Let me find it even. Level generators. Game board. So we're working at a resolution of 2000 by 128. Very odd, kind of inefficient as far as textures are going, because your computer wants to use a power of 2 number. So yeah, not great, but we'll use this for now. We'll make a texture for testing. So 2000 by 128. And we're gonna do size of an entire level, and this is how many pixels there are. The player is not gonna see most of this, honestly. I should really consider maybe doing like a, I don't know, something. Alright, we're gonna do some lines. I mean, like drawing lines. We're gonna draw some stuff here just to test our level generation thing, and then we're gonna test our yeah, like look at, like, this is a lot, dude. Yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna do some coins while we're at it. Why not? Okay, cool. We'll do this. Let's call this gameplay levels. Test level gen.png. Okay, so now we have this texture here, and go back to the level generators, model the texture with, oh, that's interesting. Doesn't matter. So we have these. We have to actually call something that uses our. I'm going to create a test. That test level. That's what we're going to be called. Yeah, we have to go to here. We have to go to. Oh my goodness, so many considerations, man. Beach world. Oh, we have an asteroid belt level. Yeah, we're just use that then. I'm not gonna call it a test. We're just gonna make an asteroid belt level. Maybe it could be like the rings of Saturn or something, or a planet like that. There's a lot of possibilities. So load the texture. We're not going to do path gen. We're instead going to do evenly distribute model entity type. Let's just use hazard for right now, or no, tile for right now. Yep. And then extent is going to be like, I don't know, maybe 2. And the percentage for the spawning, we're gonna make it like a 100%. You're always gonna try to spawn. What's going on, Illusion Hawk? Good to see you, man. Good to see you another day here. Hopefully you're doing well and your night's treating you good. Okay, cool. So I think we can just maybe send it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure if you go into the game, we have basically all the recipes to make this work. I'll have to go to here though. Rename you. Duplicate. Asteroid belt. Come back here. You're going to be asteroid belt as well. Level map. There we go. None of that matters. None of that matters. Very cool. I think we're good there. Okie dokie. Artichoke. And while we do that, let's actually duplicate this. Actually, we're not gonna have to duplicate it. We can just have this use the same. Yeah, perfect. That works. Okay. So I think we can test it and things may go horribly wrong, or it could be a wild success, and I'm gonna feel like a genius. In fact, I know it's not gonna work because I'm thinking now on how we iterate on y, and that's not gonna be correct. That's gonna be up. We need to make it relative to extent. So let's iterate from 0 to extent. This needs to iterate from negative extent to positive extent. And y is just going to be plus. So that was a little bug we caught ahead of time. Hopefully that's the only one. Alright guys, that's going to be the only one. Ooh. This is going to keep iterating. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay. I see no reason why this can go wrong. I have no fear. So we're just going to hit play. And things are just going to work, dude. What are we doing here? I'm writing some level generation stuff, Ryan, and we're just testing it out. And I feel a little scared. This is not correct. This is still doing the old level generation stuff. Oh, but you know, we're also gambling when we press play. So maybe just starting at the... Oh, I should have had a way of making this very visually distinct so it's obvious. Yeah, that's a different level. Okay, we're gonna do this. Boop, boop, boop. We're gonna get rid of all of you. And we're gonna make Asteroid be the only one. Beautiful. Or actually, we could have done the statistical thing and made it... Yeah, I don't have to modify this. We have weights for a reason. You're gonna be like the biggest weight ever. Alright, statistics don't fail me. Okay. I feel scared. Have things gone awry? I don't see anything here. So, maybe so far so good? I made it very sparse intentionally, so... Yeah, okay, let me turn off the music for now. I don't see anything anywhere. Exceptions is not readable. The texture memory cannot be... Oh, I have to make it read-writable. Okay, so that's not a code thing, that's just a Unity thing. Okay. You are now going to be read-writable. And you are going to be... $2,048. Yep. Okay, let's see if this works for real now. I can't blame Unity if this goes wrong. Unless I can, but... I don't know. I don't think so. This is hiccuping like crazy. I'm not seeing anything anywhere. So far, so bad. Argument out of range exception. Where's this happening at? It's happening here. Interesting. Why? Who would do this to you? It's happening here. What? What? Oh, because it breaks. No, we have to do return. Oopsie. Oh, that's a simple fix. Oh, that explains why this, I assumed provider was being weird. No, this is actually correct. If I want this to behave the way I intend it, I have to make it return. Yeah. And then everything else here. Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're going to have our implemented cases be together. So everything that isn't implemented can just go to the default case until I actually implement a function for them. For now though, island of not implemented toys, you go. S. What's going on, Snufflios? Yo, bruh, welcome, man. Yeah, sorry for no vertical or horizontal today. I just wanted to keep things very consolidated for today. I don't want to keep looking back and forth. Horizontal's coming back. I just wanted to be focused and have this fireplace to the side of me visible. Okay. So far so good. Okay. Our evenly spaced thing is actually working, guys. Look at wait a second, that's actually good. Like, look at the image we had here for what was it? Where is it? The image we had for blue noise, and then look at that. I mean, it's not exactly blue noise, but yeah, because that happens. That shouldn't happen, actually. I should have checked for that. I don't know why that's happening. Probably something, a non-inclusive thing. Though there's a lot of places where they're the same repeating, so I don't like that. But hey, that's something. Okay, this is a long stretch of them just doing the same thing. That's very strange. I don't know why that's happening. It's very consistent. It's very strange. It's like 2 cells too. Why is it? It just keeps going. Okay, never mind. We don't have the brown. I mean, kind of. There's some weird offsets that happen, but then they don't. I don't understand it. Well, I guess I have it set to 100%, so it's gonna keep. I bet if I lower the percentage for the random generation, you will have something better. But then less populated. But also, yeah, this is not actual blue noise, guys. So, yeah, don't put that call on. Let's just manage expectations, okay? I'm just looking for something kind of ish looking like that. Where's the asteroid function? Okay, here we go. So we're gonna change this. Well, actually, I'm going to change it to 0% because I want to see if we're actually loading the level textures the way we expect it to. It should be. I mean, it's nothing complex or crazy, so I'm assuming it'll be fine, but you never know. So I'm going to put this to 0, and then we're going to just compile and see if our little drawing came to fruition. And likely if it did, we can go straight and would eventually encounter a line. As everything goes well on your path to early access. Oh, there's no early access. You're just gonna finish the game and put it out there and just be done with it so I can work on some games. Work on some other stuff. Work on the engine at some point. Oh, and it's working. The image we drew over here, it works. Beautiful. So like we kind of got this working first try on it almost. That's kind of, and our coins are popping where we put them in. Nice. Very nice. Sweet. So you can have more open levels. Oh, this is so good, dude. I mean, if you have unbounded levels, though, then like stuff like this gets rough. It looks rough. But hey, this is fine. Actually, we can have like maybe some clouds or something up here. So even though there's like this cave system, there's still like layers or levels to it. Yeah, that's why illusion's here. Ah, brother. I am happy, man. I am very happy. This is a strange feeling for things to just work. Now let's check out our percentage. Put it to like 50% and see how our blue noise, quote unquote, our knockoff. Let's see how it looks. Pardon me as I get a drink. I should be drinking smart water. Then I can pretend like I'm Steve Jobs. I've always wanted to use a green screen to put myself, make it seem like Cozy Cabin Games has some kind of press release. Yeah, the 50%, look at that. Look how the 50% changes things, dude. And that's why the line was there. I wasn't wrong. I just forgot that I put a line, that we're combining a line and this noise. Sweet. So imagine this as asteroids that are moving, dude. You might want to have more space, but this works. This just works, man. It's just working, man. Okay, legitimately, this actually kind of looks like that. This is great, man. I am super happy with the results of this. Because then all of a sudden, like, time stop, if these are moving, time stop becomes way more relevant. Way more relevant. Or even the drill dozer becomes, like, I want to have chips that allow you to solve the same problems in different ways. So time stop solves a problem by making things slow, but you still have to navigate them. The drill, on the other hand, says, no, I'm not going to change. The environment's going to change around me. The phase shift is kind of like both worlds. The environment doesn't change, but you don't change either. You just go through. Less fun, but still a thing. Oh yeah. This is going to look super... I need to figure out what we're going to do for the asteroid, though. The asteroid field. I like this, though. I'm actually very happy with that. This is actually just good. I'm surprised. Like, legitimately, this just kind of works as a level. And then maybe here we can... I'm not sure if I'm going to make levels this big. Like, currently we have it at an actually pretty decent size, I feel. Right now it's at we're at 1,000. I feel like I could confidently have this and actually have it be fine. Make it 1024 pixels wide. I think we're gonna get close, dude, to we're gonna do a test in the Discord, guys. I think we're gonna be close for that. Maybe this week or next week. Like, this is already getting to a very playable place. I just want to have more things for people to try out, but I also want to test out the other form of control. That's another thing I want to do. One thing I do want to try, though, before we do that is on our relative input thing. I'm gonna up this to 256 at least. I'm gonna make it a ratio of like the screen space, I don't know. But have this be that size. Maybe even higher, like 300 or something. And I'm gonna resize the joystick to be bigger, but also semi-transparent. And then we need to implement the actual UI button control scheme. Yeah, up, down, and then gas. And I think, I might even have a reverse button and just make it small. I might have to simplify the UI a little bit more, because the UI is kind of chunky and there's a lot of stuff going on there. I think I might just simplify things a bit more. What keyboard? Kinesis. I want to get my thumb clusters. My pinky has been extra ouchy. Yeah, now I'm using Ergodox, so they go crazy. I still have to use my pinky, but it's you can, if you absolutely don't want to use your pinky, you can totally remap stuff here. Frequently use pinky things over here. But I feel like that'd break my brain. Like, this is actually still kind of similar to a regular keyboard setup, oddly enough. So when I go to a laptop or something, it's not that big of a deal. Or if I go back to the IBM keyboard, it's not the end of the world. But if I did anything more exotic than that, I would be so incompatible with all computing world. With all of computing society. I would be 100% just bound to this. Also, one second, my hands are a little hurty. We're gonna do a little stretching real quick. A little stretching, don't mind me. Oh, that feels great. Yep. Gotta give the old wrist a little movement. You can do this guy. I love doing this. Do 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 do. The Bible tells me so. Do 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 do. Feels good. This helps quite a bit. I need to take some magnesium too while I'm at it. We'll do that when I go upstairs. So. I do believe we are getting somewhere with this. I do believe we are gaming. Yeah, I feel pretty happy with this though. I strongly, in fact, I feel happy enough to even save the game as it is currently. So we can even just do that. And it's a modern way to publish games today. Work on it 5 years and publish it with early access for the next 10 years with tons of things in plan for full price game. Yeah, that's what people do. I just don't want to. I have so many ideas, and the games I have, like I want to do games with a lot of focus. Doesn't have to have a lot, but the idea is me focused. So I want to have shorter turnaround times for games. And then like let them just sit. Maybe I'll do updates and stuff like that, but that'll be after the fact. Yoda, what are you typing? I was committing my progress using Git on this terminal, which is why I have this git add and then git commit with a message, and then I pushed it to the server. It's just a way of saving your progress with code. So I can go to another machine and have all the changes I brought here. In fact, we're going to do it right now again, but in a sub repository. So git status shows everything we've added. Git add dash all. You'll see adds everything to be committed. Then we do git commit -m new utilities. And then you can do git push origin, and then the branch I'm pushing to is fnf. And bam, now our work is saved. Boom. Now someone's at the door. Well, I imagine a shadow puppet breakaway cam was about to happen when you stretched out your hand. That would be pretty funny. We do have the setting for it. But sadly, no shadow puppets. I can... Wait, talking about shadow puppets. I thought you were talking about like hand puppets, like the ones that you... I was gonna say I could take out my sock right now. We can do that, but no, I don't think we have anything here for... Light would be casting on me onto the camera. I guess I can like change the camera position and we can look at the whiteboard, but that'd be something different. What the hell? Yeah, Bailey. If you do code stuff, I very much highly recommend learning how to use Git. You don't have to do the code stuff that I'm doing. Like you don't have to type in the commands I'm doing. You can use like an app with UI and stuff like that, but there's only like a few commands you have to actually know, and then you're off to the races, and it's way more faster and direct and powerful than working with the UI. So. What am I to do? So we've implemented something, haven't we? We have implemented these two things. We allow image input for level generation and then create level generation functions for levels. Beautiful. Oh, how beautiful. It makes me so happy. Alright, now the other thing I want to do is this on-screen input thing. So we will test that out. But this is like, I might just do this off stream because it's not really that interesting. Actually, none of this stuff is really too interesting. It's just more something that needs to be done so that I can do A/B testing. But maybe I'll just do it anyways. There's also this implement high score system UI and it upgrade screen. This is actually kind of critical if you want to do our idea of upgrading chips. It's very application logic specific, but still important, still required. The people need it, so perhaps I shall do it for the people. Or I can start making the asteroids. That's option number 2. We could just have asteroids. Maybe I'll just do the asteroids because that's kind of fun. Yeah. You already know. You were going to do the asteroids. So, like everything in this game, it's going to start with our entity types. Another one. Asteroid. Though honestly, should I really make another... I mean, we're going to have this, yes, but do I need to make another pullable object, or can I just have one that's reprogrammable? Because this already has a sprite on it. This one's close, but it's not quite. But I think it's actually fine. But it's just kind of... Okay, do we actually... No, this is a very distinct thing and it has a particular responsibility. But do I... We do have this assign function. It does have the collider stuff built into it. There might be some assumptions that are made that might be broken by this, though. So maybe I should make another script just to handle asteroids and or any moving hazard, I guess. What's the main advantages of saving projects on Git? Backup works for multiple PCs. Yeah, so all of the above, Illusion. So Git So, okay, let's think about it this way, right? So, let's say you're using something like, let's find this. Asteroid, please. No, not that one. You know what, we're going to use this. We're going to use the level and then talk about Git there. This is fine. Okay, this is actually a little bit too bright for me. We'll use this. We already have a space for this. Perfect. So, like, let's imagine you have a Dropbox or a Google Drive, and you upload a file of your entire game there, right? Your source code and everything onto that file. Cool, your game's backed up there. But let's say you make changes to that. Well, you're going to have to bundle it up together into a zip and then upload either a new file or replace this one. So two kind of bad things about that, right? If you upload two files, then cool, you have access to both of them, but you also have the entirety of contents. And between file 1 and 2, there's probably a lot of things that are the same. So there's a lot of redundant information that's repeated, and it just ends up you taking up a lot more space, and it balloons. But at least you have access to both states of this application, right? It still requires you to manually like zip a file and upload it and whatever, right? But you do that. It just takes up more space. Or the alternate option is that, hey, I deleted this file and replaced it. Well, that's less space, but now you lost the original copy. So you can't go back in time. You can't just check to see what happened. Git's a little bit different. So with Git, let's say you started with this version of your file, right? And then eventually you made some changes, and then you want to save it, or you want to upload those changes, right? Well, not even upload. You can do it like Git's a local thing too, right? You can take you can commit a snapshot of your current version of your project, and it'll be over here, right? And let's say like you added, I don't know, a green onto it, right? So this snapshot from here to here does not save a copy of both things. Instead, all it does is it saves the changes that happened to it. In this case, the fact that you added a green dot to over here, right? So Git fundamentally doesn't save the entire file, it saves the differences between them. The delta. And let's say you make another change to your file, like, hey, I decided to make, I don't know, a neutral face, because I don't have enough space to make a smiley face. Well, again, Git's just gonna store the changes that were produced. So with Git, you can just take it takes a file and then applies all these changes, and if you apply them in the correct order, you end up with the current state of your application. Way less information. You can still have the entire history of your file and your changes with minimal size. Now that's one part of it, but here's the cool thing about Git, is that you also have alternate timelines. So this is all on a branch right now, right? And we usually call this the master branch or the main branch. But let's say you want to explore something, but you don't want to commit to it. You can make an alternate timeline, an alternate branch that does something a little bit different. And let's say you did blue, and you did this. And now these exist, and you can make changes to this, and it's going to keep existing independently of the main one. So there's a bunch of utilities for doing things like this. A lot of times for developers, you have master branch, and no one can directly merge to it, right? This is supposed to be the most stable version of the application to date. So what developers often do is they make a branch, they introduce their feature, and then once they want to try merging it into the master, they do something called a pull request, where someone reviews it and either approves it or rejects it or leaves feedback, and then once it gets approved, it can get merged in. Or if you have no branch protection, you can just directly merge it if you want to. But either way, it's a way of kind of allowing separate development to happen independent of master. So it's great for exploring features or allowing developers to work independently. Or let's say you're going to make a version of your application and you want to, because sometimes a bug happens or a patch needs to be made that's really quick and you don't want to bring in all the changes you brought upstream. You can just make a branch of a stable version or your release version of your application and just have it exist independently over here, so that should you ever need to revisit it or make another build or something happens or you want to make some minor changes that doesn't have all this stuff, you can just go to this version of your application. So that's the beauty of Git. And the cool thing is Git is not a code specific thing. You can do Git with any file. You could do it with an image if you wanted to, or music, or a document. I've done it for resumes where like maybe you have a resume, a master resume with all your stuff, but then you make a version of your resume that's for this company or for that company or whatever. So there's some things you want to keep, there's other things you want to get rid of. Git is such a useful thing. And the cool thing is that this whole branch structure exists locally on your machine. So you can just have Git locally and just use it. But if you want to have it hosted online, then you can use services like Codeberg. Yeah, people use GitHub, but Codeberg is the one I like most. It's not slopified by Microsoft. But yeah, the GitLab, Bitbucket, whatever, right? Like a bunch of different services support this. And there is your explanation of what Git is and why it's so useful. All in Asteroid. Who needs PowerPoint anyhow? See, we reserve PowerPoint for corporate America. Real developers use Asteroid to explain concepts. And that's the beauty of Git. We love Git in this household. There's other... So what we're describing is something called source control. There's other methods of source control that aren't branched like a tree. Those are called mental disorders. No, I'm messing. I'm playing. I'm not going to dog on people who use them. There's reasons to use centralized source controlling, like SVN, or Tortoise SVN and whatnot. So I'm not going to dog on them. But it's a fundamentally different way of thinking. But yeah, there's your little presentation. Of course, Illusion Hawk. Hopefully it's of use to you. I wish I learned that sooner. It's kind of the most important way of collaborating with other developers. You have to like learn Git at some point. Or just a source control application or tool. But Git is the most popular and frequently used one. It's frequently used in open source and all that. I laughed out loud. I'm glad it's sometimes my little elitism comes out. I mean, you gotta have it, right? Everyone has opinions. It's just that I'm right. That's the only difference. Okay, I'm done. What was I doing? I was doing something. Right, we're implementing an Asteroid. Oh, and I was thinking about how terrible this is gonna be. Actually, no, I'm just contemplating trade-offs here. Trade-offs of memory. I mean, the biggest... no matter what, you're gonna have... I just want to eliminate the repetition of meshes. That's the thing I want to eliminate. I should probably look at mesh instancing. That's a thing I should probably look at some point. I think what we're doing is very subject. Like, it could be used by that for sure. But no. we can use I either force tile to be something it's not, or I make a separate object. The benefit is that I don't have to allocate a bunch of other tiles. We can just reuse the mesh that this one has and just supply a different material to it. And this can be a general purpose thing that can exist for other stuff too, which is cool. It's just that this can very much grow in complexity, and this already has some complexity, but it's only like 200 lines of code, so maybe it's not the end of the world. Yeah, maybe it's not the end of the world. On tiles destroyed. Oh, we have this callback that's going on too. There's stuff going. That's not a good reason. This is just me being a baby. A little tiny baby. Yeah, because you just have to add like some kind of guard statement or something. Yeah, I think this is actually... I think this might be fine and acceptable. I don't know, actually. I don't think it all like matters all that much. But I feel like it does, you know what I'm saying? Screw it, we're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Okay, we have the subscribe thing, we have this. We have the assigned entity that we're using. You're gonna happen first, my friend. And wait, what? Get tile type? Oh, okay. I thought it was get entity type for a second. I was like, wait, that's stupid. Why would I write that? No, I never write anything wrong. Everything I write is immaculate, perfect, flawless. Without flaw. Equals... not equal. So it's something else we're gonna return. We're just gonna ignore it. And we have to have like two separate things happen. Get component, level assets. On tile assigned. Okay, beautiful. So we're gonna do a little bit of this. Honestly, you know what? You know what I should really do? Perchance. Have you guys seen that Mario essay? Where the guy just says perchance all the time? Hilarious. Oh, you know what? The object calling stuff, it might be... No, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. We have a sign for a reason. We have a sign for a reason. So this is fine. So I'm just going to make another function here. Just called... Asteroid? No, Asteroid. Oh, brother. Okay. You know what? You know what, guys? It's 1:33. We're gonna take it easy, man. I want to push, but at the same time, I also kind of don't want to push. I feel like if I push hard now, I'm just not gonna achieve the heights that I'm looking for. I feel like we're gonna do some bad engineering, quote unquote engineering. ZZ time, maybe. Actually, I want to play a game on my Steam Deck. Actually, maybe try it, see if it works on here too. There's a Russian nesting doll game by Double Fine. The same people who made Psychonauts. I've been wanting to play it. Give it a ye old try. I haven't played a PC game on stream in a long time, so maybe you should just play some tonight or something. I don't know, just go crazy. Be wild. Wouldn't that be something? A PC game? A video game stream? That's not on the internet. People don't play streams. They don't stream games. I've never heard of a gamer doing such a thing. This will be simple. Okay, we have that. We have the material. We have the assign. We do something, don't we? Update material properties. Type. Material. Tile material. Maybe I'll make it Asteroid material. Hello, Great Coder. Hello, Tamerka. Great Coder, though. I'm not sure how to call myself that. Carmack is a great coder. I am just a humble keyboard monkey. I am simply a man who goes onto website, monkey type, and type like monkey. And I continue to do this typing into this magic box. See, I'm telling you guys, I told you earlier today, I've gotten super sloppy. I used to like practice and I was getting pretty good at it. And now I'm like, I've been so used to using a laptop keyboard. And just, yeah, look at that. 79, 94. It's funny, people assume that I type fast. And it's actually, no, I actually don't type good. Vim does 99% of the heavy lifting for me. My actual typing is it's kind of rough, man. But this is not where I practice. Like, if I want to actually practice to get better, I'd use Keyboard or something. That actually, like, it smells when you have a word you struggle with. And like a shark, it starts making you type that word over and over again. It smells the weakness. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Yeah, look at that. It's getting worse, man. What is that site? It's called Monkey Type. It's one of a few that are... This is a nice one. It's nice to just pull it up and start typing. The other one's like Keyber, I think. Keyber. This is the one that actually... This is how I started... Because I used to not use home row or any of this stuff. 90% of my life has been not using proper keyboard typing, like home row and all that stuff. I just had my own weird concocted way of typing that I just grew up doing as a kid. But eventually when I started doing this Vim stuff, I was like, we have to actually learn to type. Actually, when I got this keyboard, I said we have to learn how to type for real. And then I started this journey of reteaching my brain how to type. See, like, it's typing, it's giving me words or letters I suck at. Quaver. Inadequate consequences. See, like, look at that. 90% of my typing is like, of coding is typing the same, like, 5 words I've used. And it's kind of by by design. Not by the people, but like, I choose to just use the simple stuff. But yeah, you're not gonna see much Q's in my code. Quavered, query, frequent, unequal. Oh, dude, I suck. This guy sucks. I am remembering now where the Q goes. Oh, okay. I thought I was done for there. I thought I was done for. Yeah, this is... Oh, yeah. Twirl. Tranquil. Okay, we kind of... We struggled there a little bit. Yeah, it's a great site. It's actually super helpful for getting better. And kind of reinforcing your... Well, if you actually are being conscientious about where you mess up. Monkey type is fun, just to kind of rip it and see how fast and far you can go. This is like, alright, you're going to the dojo. You're going to see how bad you are. Yeah, the keyboard goes burr. I was struggling a bit with managing states in my sort of API within a simulating environment with protocol state management. I solved the problem by adding I don't know to enum returning to environment. Beautiful. Daily goal 30 minutes. Yeah, you can crunch through. Just put on some, like, I don't know. I watched some Clarkson Farm lately. Just put on some Clarkson Farm and just rip it, man. Before finishing the project, I would fill all the blanks, and this state will naturally disappear. Hopefully. My lids are fighting me. Time to log off Windows. You take your syndicate. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for accompanying. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you enjoy it, alright? Have a good rest of your... Have a good sleep. That's all I can ask for. And I'll see you next stream. Yeah, keyword's great, though. Keyword's pretty good. Clearly, though, we gotta work on them Q's. Them Q's. My E's. I keep forgetting what finger the E is for. E is for the middle finger. The magic finger. That's index. See, this is what I'm saying. It's like homework. until it becomes like, it goes from something something like very conscious to something unconscious. Subconscious, that's a better way of... Okay, we're not going to grind this on stream. We're actually going to do some stuff. We're going to assign a tile, but... Right. Tile material equals get component. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Should I just make this like a property that accesses the mesh renderer? Like these are gonna be resources we load from. From project resources, but not project resources, just from resources in Unity, but yeah, there's something we have to do. I think that typing speed is always faster than thinking. Yeah, that's true. And with typing practice, you're usually reacting to something. Like you're reacting to the image on the screen and trying to recreate it. But when you have the thought yourself, it's actually more direct. Yeah, that's odd. Still suck though. And then I'm gonna have some constants as well. We're gonna have something else here. Not even we're gonna do asteroid specific. Yeah, we're gonna do asteroid specific. We're gonna have material specifically just for that. We're not gonna do that procedurally. In case I want to have something that doesn't conform to regular shaders and stuff. So that's me for that. As for you, you're going to be that one. This will be a static thing as well. And then this is going to be the general material. Though I think I'd rather just cache the renderer. I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do actually. No, I don't want to open up the mesh renderer. I instead just gonna do that. We're also gonna do this over here. Find it, yeah. Might be breaking the application a little bit, but it's fine. And then, oh, we have the static stuff already. What is this? Well, that's not gonna stay. Yeah, you're not happening, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you realize that the best solution is the laziest ones, but you need to be quite creative to be as lazy as possible, though. That is true. Actually, something I mentioned earlier to Mirka was that because I was naming a function that's not, the name of the function I was writing was not actually very accurately describing what it was gonna do, but it's the closest thing I can think of, because honestly what it was gonna do was still kind of a bit nebulous until I fully implemented it. So sometimes you have to operate with imprecision in order to iterate, and then once you've iterated, then you can actually better word and name things. Hey, we meet again. Don't really just scroll all day. Amexis? Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't quite recall. My bad, though. Also, Ketchup Eater, what's going on, man? Yeah, I remember you. What's going on? Well, hopefully you're doing well, Amexis. And welcome back. Hopefully your day is going good. We're just doing some implementation today. Just a little bit of implementation. If this would finish. So we have entity, we have this, we have that. We have a bunch of things that are using this material that I have to find somewhere up here. And we need to rectify that, because that's actually going to be a property, I think. Yeah, this is incorrect. This is going to be like a render.material. Actually, shared material is what you're supposed to be using. And really, I'm going to change this to be a... I don't know, it's only used internally though. But every time I use a private thing, it feels like it's something that it's... Honestly, I almost prefer just having this be a function. Because that feels more... This like properties always feel like they're assigning something on the getters. I think I'd rather just have a function that just gets the material. Even if it's a member. Fine, I'll leave this for now. Feels weird though. Nothing much. You did become a website? No, I didn't do the website yet. I've just been trying to wrap up this game. I feel close though. Like we're getting closer and closer. The game's getting more and more polished. I love it, dude. It's coming together more and more. I think once we finish the game, I'll go back to making the website. I have big ideas though for it. Maybe more than I required, but I really want to go to like a small web thing. I'm thinking here. I don't know why it bothers me, but I'm just gonna do this. Like this legitimately bothers me. It's not that big of a deal, and yet it does bother me. So we're just gonna do this. Can I do this? Is that valid syntax? It is valid syntax. Oh my goodness. C# just gets crazier and crazier. First we use a go-to statement today, and now this? Dude, what are we doing? I'm gonna change my ad to Minecraft Steve, so remember me. Will do, man. I should make like a note card or something for people. Like a Mexis. I'm sorry if I forgot you, man, but we can rectify this. I can have notes. A note card or something. If I can find a clear one. Alright, nice and empty. Perfect. A Mexis and ketchup to Minecraft Steve instead. Steve. Noted, my friend. Actually, hopefully this will be enough to recall. Is he typing faster, your keyboard, or just experience? No, it's not the keyboard at all. It's just Vim, honestly. And just, you know, getting better at typing. But yeah, Vim is a big difference. Most of what I'm doing is not specific to this keyboard. I can still navigate and operate this at the same speed with like a laptop keyboard or whatever. So, like, I'm not really using any custom binding. Like, this keyboard is actually weirdly kind of similar to normal keyboards for the most part. The only weird things are like here and in here, but that's about it. So we have this new material function. That's how we're getting access to material. So what's the other thing? I feel like we're missing something. Right. The garbage collector is not going to be happy with that. I should really just cache them. Like, I should make a material instance of these. Oh, it won't be static. That's the thing. On the one hand, you don't have to do repeated loads. On the other hand, we can just have the best of both worlds. We can have the static for just loading up material, but then we can have an instance for this tile specifically. Static, this would be non-static. Actually, let's just do this. I don't want to do a whole summary tag for this. It's just like a one-liner so I know why I'm doing this. Okay, cool. Good on that front. We can do the whole... then we create the new instance only if this is null. Okay, perfect. And then we can do cool. So we cache this. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Best of both worlds. No crazy GC pressure. Minecraft Steve. Do you still remember me? Nope, never met this man in my life. I use my laptop keyboard looking for a new keyboard. I saw your type of keyboard and is used by a lot of programmers. Yeah, I mean, you're doing this 8 hours a day. Like, it's nice to have something like that's good for your posture and doesn't hurt. This helped a lot with my carpal tunnel too. I'm using a laptop for work nowadays, and I've been too lazy to use this, but even then, it's still nice having something different to work with. What means... Okay, so this is a null condition. It's a null coalescent operator. This right here, let's even simplify this. That syntax, let's do this. Bool. Oh, no, that's not a good type. What's... new, I don't know. Does that work? Alright, I'm gonna make a... Okay, so I made this private field object A, and then we have this whole thing going on here. So what this means is basically just this. It's saying, hey, is A equal to null? If it is, assign A to 1. That's all this syntax is. These two are the same thing. This is called a null coalescent operator. C# has a bunch of these kind of null operators that you can use that just kind of condense things. In this case, this is all it means. If A is null, we're going to assign it a value. If A is if A is not null, we're not going to assign it. We're going to keep the original value. That's all this means. So in my case over here, I'm saying, hey, is renderer null? If it is, then we're going to do get component and then assign it. Otherwise, it's already been set. We don't need to execute anything here. It's a way of kind of saving redundant execution, right? Or over here, like, hey, is this asteroid material, did we get the asteroid material already? If we did, we don't have to do anything. But if we didn't, let's load it from resources and assign it. It's syntax sugar, but it's handy. It's convenient. I have heard people say they have that kind of problem, these kind of monitors. Not really. My thing's been fine. You have a go in Minecraft, Steve. I'll catch you, man. Stuff, Leos. It's okay, man. It's okay if it feels a little too complicated. You get better with it with time. And plus, it's my own code base, so I know, of course, I know what's going on in it, but you guys are, anyone who's outside of this, even professional programmers might be a bit lost with what's going on. Is it a ternary operator? Yeah, no, ternary operator is different. So if we go back to this example, that's cool that you bring it up though, but it's like a separate thing. So we object A, and we had our this equals 1, and then we have this other version. My goodness. So you have so you have the null coalescent. I don't even know how to spell it. We're just call it the null operator. It's coalescent. Did I spell it right? Okay, whatever. Yeah. The if statement, and then you mentioned ternary. A ternary operator is different. It's not the same as these. These two are the same. This is different. But it can kind of result in something kind of similar, but a null ternary goes if A equals null, we're going to assign it value whatever. Otherwise, we're going to assign it something else. So the difference here is that these two are not going to always assign something. So if it's null, then, or if it's not null, it's not going to assign 1 to A. In both cases, it only does it if A equals null. But with a ternary operator, it's always going to assign some kind of value, right? So to evaluate A is, for example, is A equal to null? If it is, then you're going to assign it 1. Otherwise, you're going to assign it null explicitly. It sounds like it's going to be the same thing, but that's an extra action it's doing. And this is kind of redundant, so you wouldn't really use null there. Usually it's helpful if you're going to assign some other value. So like, for example, -1 or 0 or something. Then it makes sense, right? Because then no matter what, these two values you're going to are different from where you started. So the equivalent of this is like else equals 0 in this case, or in this case null. So if you go back to this original example that replicates what happens over here. Actually, if A equals, yeah, no, if you want this to actually behave like this, you'd have to do this. So it's kind of a redundant action. But yeah, as you can see, like this is the equivalent code for what a ternary does. And as you can see, there's this redundant operation that happens here if you're going to replicate what these do. If you're doing this, what we talked about though, where you actually have a different value you're assigning, this is what it looks like. And yeah, very clearly different than what this is. So cool that you brought that up. Very different operations though. A ternary is usually where you use it and where there's an if-else statement. Not just for null. I had basics of C# and C++, but I see that the first time. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird operations and stuff you'll find in C#. You can do a lot of weird stuff with C# and it's pretty cool. Heck, I think I haven't mentioned it, but I've been doing a lot of you can force C# to do C stuff or C++. So there's a lot of code I've been writing recently for work, where if you read it, you're like, this is just C++. Like legitimately, it looks straight up like C or C++, which is kind of fun. There's specific reasons why I'm doing it, but yeah, it's cool that you can do that with the language. Okay, so we static render should probably, and then we do render dot not get component shared. Shared material equals material. Yeah, there's a bunch of fun null things that C has, or C# has. You can even do a null conditional operator like this. I can't do it with this, but maybe if I did on a function like Like this, I can do that. Yeah, and basically this goes, hey, if this is not null, then call this function. Otherwise, if it is null, just don't call the function. Though this one, especially in Unity, be careful. Don't use this on model behavior components, because this null check is not actually a guaranteed thing for Unity objects. But if you're working with pure C# objects, it's fine. Like just pure C# classes or structs, you're fine then. But yeah, fun. A lot of fun. A lot of fun little doodads you can do with C#. What are you deleting, Snufflios? I'm actually going to go code myself now. Do you listen to music while coding? Sometimes, but not very much. Usually if I know what I'm doing, I just need to execute, then I just do it, but I put on some music. I know when I was much more younger, I'd listen to a lot more music while coding, but no, it depends on the vibes. If I'm doing something very complex, I have to shut off everything and just focus and hold that complex state in my brain until I get it done, and then if I'm doing stuff that's not deep work and it's just like I need to restructure stuff, then and it's just typing, then it's usually pretty straightforward. I think I already done everything I needed for asteroids and for tiles, so I think we're good here. Yeah, we assigned. No, we're not doing this anymore. That changed because we have the shared tile material instance. You don't make stuff for people, you make it for yourself. That's cool, man. I mean, that's how we all started, right? I know that's how I started. Yeah, why are you sighing, Snuff? Alright. Well, things are gonna break. I know that much. Let me see if I can find the tile here, though. I know there's for sure like a levels, resources, no, by config characters, nope, concepts, nope, fonts, might be in gameplay actually. Entities, hazard. No, it's post-processing. Okay, here we go. It's called M hazards, but that's not the correct thing. It should be just M tile. And I'm pretty sure I go to these resources called M tile. Perfect. So we just got it going on, man. We just did it. We done did it, dude. Dude. So this is like, this should work, but I also want to have some odd behavior for asteroids. So for example, I want them to be able to be constantly moving in a certain direction. And this should only happen on yeah, we're gonna do this. This is going to be a registered object as well for time dilation. So for this, you're going to see this null conditional thing happen as well. That's going to happen with this. I'm basically going to do asteroid behavior, null check, dispose. No. Asteroid behavior. There we go. Null dot dispose. Cool. And then you can also assign it directly, but that's fine. Observable. Every. I have to be using X. Here we go. Observable every date. Subscribe. Okay, perfect. And then we can add our asteroid behavior here. Oh, you have this return to pool thing. Perfect. We can do some other stuff, but do some things first. So we're probably going to be moving left, times some kind of speed value, so maybe like do like 5 or something. No, wait, this is not working. Oh, that's service. Do I not have a coefficient? There we go. Okay, that should work. And now in our asteroid function, we can call up. I misspelled it wrong. I spelled it wrong. Update. Cool. And that should just work. And then this one, we do that. Cool. Don't need this input system thing. And now we just have this asteroid. And I think the last thing we'd need is probably need to have a constant for speed. But aside from that, what else are we gonna do? Private const. Yeah, we'll replace this with our constant. And maybe like rotator or something, I don't know. Cool. We can test this out. Let me just update our level generation functions with the correct type. Instead of tiles, we're going to use Asteroid. And then game boarding manager. Actually, entity creation utilities is where we're going to do this magic. Yeah, so we're going to do the same thing here. Buffer Asteroid. Yoink this. And this time, instead of doing hazard, we're going to do assign. Don't need level assets for that one. Cool. Also, the name for this is incorrect. It should be tile. I like encoding on whatever you call it. That you don't need a lot of physical stuff to do it. Just some computer, not necessarily powerful. Some passion and time to learn, do a new thing. Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing about programming. It's a very low barrier of entry thing. Like, I wrote a little baby simple game engine in Rust on a cheapo laptop I got for free. That was from like a scrap. Like, people look down on weak hardware, but like you can still do a lot of crazy stuff on there. I mean, think about it. Browsers can run on those things, right? And there's a lot going on in a browser, dude. So you can totally write complex things on a... I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do, but there's a huge amount of possibilities you can do, even when on weak hardware. Place logic on board. Yeah, we're good there. Okay, I think we have that case covered. I think the thing I need to do lastly is add a material for the asteroids. Yeah, if I can find... It's called M_asteroid, right? Cool, we could do that. Don't mess with me. Yeah, I remember on a trip I took to Florida, I purposely just took the cheapo, weak laptop with me. And I was just working on my engine the entire time. I enjoyed it. I actually got quite a bit done on it too. Just do something simple. I don't have what's a texture I can use that would work vaguely for an asteroid. I guess I can use these spiky boys again. Okay. I guess just run it. Let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'm seeing nothing, and things have errored, so I'm assuming something's gone wrong. Yeah, argument out of range exception. Oh, right, because I didn't add a support for this, for Asteroid. Okay, that should be all there is to it. Let's try this again. And this should work for real this time. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, I've been thinking about maybe bringing up like a laptop on stream and coding on that. Like connect my laptop to the CRT and just code on that instead of this keyboard. And then see what I can do with like some pretty limited stuff. That'd be kind of a cool thing to prove, like, hey, you don't need super crazy hardware in order to do something productive. I mean, we've done it before with our C projects. Alright, moment of truth. Oh my goodness, it's too fast. There's too fast. We're being assaulted. We're being assaulted. There's too much speed, man. Too much speed. We did 5 meters. I guess 5 meters per second is... No, that's actually should be kind of not that fast. I guess you have to multiply not only by the time coefficient and the asteroid speed, but also by, yeah, time dot delta time. I forgot about that. How can I forget delta time? The most crucial of components to multiply by. Okay, let's see here. Yep, and now we have an asteroid field. Nice. Nice. Oh yeah, this worked out pretty good. Oh, yep. But then if we do time stop, very nice. Oh, we died though. I mean, we need to change the sprites to be an actual asteroid, but you get the idea. And maybe I want to space this out a little bit because it's very unfair. Like, yeah, we're gonna abuse a time stop, but that's not. I don't think that's gonna be the most feasible thing for people. Oh, dude, I'm super happy with what we built for ourselves today, though. This is gonna make things super duper easy. Oh my goodness, you really need the time stop ability to be able to handle this. Oh, dude. Oh, that worked beautifully, man. Beautifully. I think I'm gonna make this be an extensive like 4. Twice the distance, I think will be good enough. Like No Man's Sky or similar modern games is impossible on 20 years old PC with DRT2 like me. Yeah, I think it's super graphic. Oh, yeah. There's gonna be things that are just too intense. In general, there's things that are too intensive. You'd be surprised though how like a lot of games, the graphical, a lot of games, but there's quite a lot of games where the bottleneck is just on the actual GPU, but if you skim it out on it, it can still run. It's gonna look very but okay, what's going on here? What happened? Why? Sample index out of range. How is this out of range? Coordinates are x, y. We check to see if any of them are less than 0. So that's like fine. I guess I did check for over as well. I was hoping that that would be a concern, but I guess for X, or maybe... I guess X is where that case... No. Where would it be reaching overflow? That's odd to me. I kind of neglected one case because it's just kind of... But no. These statements should guard against both directions for that. Where x is less than 0 or x is greater than width. Yeah, it's strange. Let's see if this fixes things at all. This should for sure prevent outside of range exceptions now. Oh, in theory at least. Let's find out. Let's see. Come on, buddy. I believe in you. Yeah. So far, so good. Yeah, okay, it seems to have worked there. I wonder what caused that. But yeah, this is much more doable now. Much more doable. Oh yeah, dude, leagues better. Make sure there might be a time where I have to actually do time stop, but it's not all the time. Okay, I'm actually very happy with this. This has turned out quite well. I'm actually quite... Wow, the level gen stuff in this turned out pretty easy today, so I think I'm going to be cranking out a bunch of levels off stream this week. Okay. Did I add anything to my dev kit? Yeah, nothing there. Okay, I did get it right. Very nice. Let's go on Tenno Mask. How are you doing this evening? Oh yeah, I'm super duper happy, dude. So now we can design. I have to be a bit sparing with it though, because this is quite large and it's kind of redundant information since I don't actually need floating point precision for these color values, honestly. For everything I'm trying to represent, so. But. Yeah, man, I feel very happy. I need to find the value range for where the entrance spawns, though. That's an important factor I need to check out. Yeah, we went straight here, and then we encountered that, we went up here. Okay, cool. This is nice though. I can actually draw maps and have it appear in game. This is a game changer. Now, have I figured out what I'm going to do with the other types of color value attributes? No idea. We haven't figured that out. I think we also have blue on the table. So I could, in theory, I do have a whole set of other color combinations I can play around with. And we also have green as well. So there's a bunch of combinatorics that we have at our disposal that we only assigned value or entity to these colors. So purple, pink, blue, green. What arises from green, blue? So we have this color to work with as well. And I guess I can make black as well. There's quite a number of colors we can assign to entities in the game. So we can have maximum control over maximum control for level designing. I'm very happy though. I'm pleased as punch. I am super pleased. Thanks for the stream. 9:30 a.m. Time to sleep as fast as possible. Yeah, you go to sleep, man. 9:30. Beat up till then. That's a lot, man. And honestly, I'm probably gonna be calling stream here too. I mean, unless I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are gonna be into playing games. Maybe I'll do that next time. But yeah, I'm super happy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of today's stream. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your company, and hopefully you learned something from this. And yeah, as always, God bless. And until next time, stay cozy. Bye-bye.